Ebusia for higher for 1G, Chida Simutiri base, some cosines and so because all the latest updates at the Koso Ghana. No, yeah, my name Pamo that Jesse because we really everything that is going on in Ghana. No, it be now my head, more keep you updated. So, Sakabia, no, I share Amawunia, so the inside Kibias already in feeling Jim, Nian Candy or chairman. Manasi Azuri, and I just say, Nibuka, the president Ghana never had at the title no grandpa that's what grandpa no a sense be what you say. All corner baby sa corrupt scandal now gada no. A ban must say at least any consequence radio so kasakeke now 1 week 2 weeks 1 month neko. There was already with 2 more. Or trials on the ministers on the government officials. A bekasa sene be very rich to Akufo now so na nkwesiaga. Or try us and could be president, now so no brave pound for my trying to wish no Emma Queen. Now, God being so good, no, a yamanasi to me could share a year Rebecca Akufo. Let me reveal some of the corrupt scandals here, then each year Rebecca Akufo. Just a chain mafia guy be more crying, can't be the crampono with me expose all their corrupt scandal with me the AHM can refer to crampus where the account be. And or sense when you some man a year official letter I shame the myself and command. No do command couldn't see come on equity in Sema a year with Akufo, a queer branches in Sakama Nancy Azuri a.
And when you're very critical of President Mahama, the Ford issue and all of that. So you look back and you feel that, well, you didn't treat him right? Is that what you're saying?
Not at all.
You still do it again?
It is like someone steals 10,000 cedis, and then we are all angry. That 10,000 could have built schools and that. We are angry, we kick the person out, and someone comes to steal 100,000 cedis. We are not saying the person who stole 10,000 cedis did right, but the one who told us, I'm not a thief, I'm not coming to steal, I'm coming to protect the public person, all of that, we give this person the opportunity. And they are supervisors.
There are a lot more corruption scandals under President Akufo than under President Mahama.
Exactly. Exactly. And I can give you just one example.
But the president said, bring the evidence. So if you have the evidence, you're a journalist. Manasseh, why are you not taking to the presidency? Why are you not reaching out to the chief of staff? Have you had the chance to go and say, well, this is what, and they remain mere allegations. Why don't we take them on? If you're saying that under his leadership.
There's a chapter in this book titled Meeting the President's Wife. Maybe if you Google Manasseh and Rebecca Akufo, why did I meet him? People kept on to like what you are telling me in the Mahama era. Why have you even taken a step to at least go there? Maybe they are there, they are not getting what is really happening. So I started speaking to people close to the president about these things. I didn't see change. So I booked an appointment with the wife. So when we met, Rebecca Akufo said, look, my husband said you have access to him through Jinapo and other people, so he's surprised. You want to come through me to discuss these issues? And I said, yes, it is true. And I've written in this book, I discussed them with Jinapo, Gabi, Vice President Baumia.
About what? The corruption scandal?
Some of the issues that spilled over from the Mahama era. Kandapa, I've spoken to them about this. So I felt, okay, why don't you just make that last move? Maybe, granted that the president doesn't know about them, why don't you make that move? So I met the president's wife and I actually went with an envelope in the write-up of the issues. This was in December 2018 and nothing changed. If the president is asking about evidence of corruption, the recent investigation I did on the SML, that Ken Oforiatta signed or authorized a contract to be signed that says every liter of fuel that all of us in this room, whether you buy it in Cape Coast, Axim, once you buy a liter of fuel, a percentage of that revenue should go to SML. And we went there, these people were supposed to be doing measurements of fuel liftings and then sending it to the GRA. The GRA wasn't even using the figures that people were providing. Then there were issues with this contract. Ken Oforiatta decided to expand it to the gold mining sector. that every ounce of gold produced in this country, a percentage of that revenue should go to SML. Every barrel of fuel produced in this country, a percent should go to SML. We did this story. If you look at the KPMG report, page 157 and page 158, says clearly that this company did not contribute to the revenue or volume growth. So why were they paid? Well, they were paid over 1 billion Ghana cedis, and then the new contract entitled them to more than $500 million within the first 5-year period, and it was subject to renewal. So what evidence does Akufo want? He told us in 2016, the NPP held a press conference and said, look, the reason Mahama couldn't cancel contracts like the Zoomlion ones was that he was benefiting from such deals.
Do you think President Mahama benefited from everything that there were? I mean, and of course, you know, some heads really rolled, but do you think that he benefited? And do you think that President Akufo is benefiting as well?
I speak to what I have evidence. I don't know how people shared the monies behind the scenes. So I don't have that evidence. But I know that if you take RLG, for instance, he was very close to the president. President Mahama said at the 10th anniversary of Zoomlion, and I have the recordings, that Zoomlion was like somebody who was always in his house.
President Mahama said?
Yes.
Okay.
That anytime he did the State of the Nation address, Zoomlion, Jospon was the first person to come to him. Oh, he said this, I can do it this way. Okay, I don't know whether he benefited. But Akufo and his people said Mahama couldn't cancel the contracts because he was benefiting personally. Now you become president and you are continuing with those things. So the question is,
maybe they also investigated and they realized that, well, that is not the case. President Mahama didn't benefit from it, and we are also not benefiting. We want Ghana to go on, so we will not terminate or abrogate that contract. Isn't that valid?
And I'm telling you that the NPP General Secretary now, Justin Frimpong Okodia, sorry, held a press conference and said, look, there are issues with this contract. We even tried to get the service provider to do ABC. Zoomlion didn't come forward. Told you about the current YE CEO who went to the Minister for National Security. I know the youth employment was an initiative that was in response to national security advice. The youth unemployment was becoming a threat to national security. So they set it up. And the National Security Minister, when I spoke to him at it, I said, oh, don't worry, this will never happen. But it did.
So some of these things then
they know. And when you think about all of this, and anytime I see the sweepers, I feel very angry. Since 2013, when I first did it till date, because I've lived through abject poverty, I travel and I know how people suffer. So if there is money, 850, I agree that the person doing the work should take only 250 Ghana cedis, but the one sitting now as a supervisor should take 600 multiplied by 45,000. You're making about 20 million cedis every month.
You seem to mention the National Security Minister a lot in our conversation. Is he a very good friend?
Yes. I will not. Yeah, I have friends with all of them, but I'm talking about just two instances that I mentioned him. This contract that I'm talking about.
But do you have a good relationship with him?
Yes, I have a good relationship.
And same with Abu Jinapo.
Well, I have a good relationship with a number of them.
But on both divide, I mean,
on both divide, including President Mahama. President Mahama.
Oh, you have a very good relationship.
President Mahama is my friend.
You are joking.
Oh yes.
President Mahama is your friend.
Yes.
And you went out for him, like, or at the time he wasn't your friend.
We've always been friends. I don't hate President Mahama. I've said it, but not many.
Do you hate President Akufo?
I don't hate President Akufo. I don't hate anybody.
So why sometimes people feel you are personalizing it? Even the book will come and we'll talk about it. You using their images. First it was John Mahama, the phone, rain, rejection, and rebound. Now is President Adu's picture, and you've captioned it, the president Ghana never got. But we'll talk about that. John Mahama is your good friend. So why the attacks on him, and why do you say that? Well,
I don't think it's an attack.
Really?
I don't think it's an attack. When I travel outside of Ghana, I feel sometimes depressed thinking about Ghana. Because when you go out there are people who don't respect our color. The question I ask myself is, if I were in their shoes, would I respect us? That COVID happens. People are developing vaccines. We are building a cathedral. When they finish the vaccination, they say they're doing tests. Oh, the white man wants to kill us. We'll not take part in the testing. When the vaccine is ready, oh, we don't have money, give it to us for free. Such people. The only time we wanted to buy vaccine, the Sputnik V vaccine, it ended up in a scandal. And COVID-19, there's a part in this book, the scandal President Akufo initiated. So all of these things, you look back and think that no, the people out there, not that they are stupid. If anybody says NPP doesn't have the men, I don't agree. They do. I believe they have the men, very intelligent people. Ken Oforiatta was educated at Yale. So I don't think that contract with SML, he passed it not because he's stupid. No, he's not. He's an intelligent man. Somebody who's been able to run or build a data bank, enterprise, and very successful businesses. So why would they take up government positions? And people don't have jobs. So when you go out and you see how things are, you look back.
The systems.
So, excuse my language, some people think we are animals. And our leaders are proving to them that indeed we are.
When was the last time you spoke to your friend John Mahama?
Last week.
Last week?
Yes.
Will he be at your book launch?
He may not, but he will send somebody to represent him. I met him and gave him the invitation myself.
How does he feel? You criticize him, you lambast him, you push him in an awkward corner. He has a following. What are his people also telling him? What is he telling you then?
When I wanted to interview John Mahama for this book, his people said, what the heck? This guy did this to you, and you lose the election. He even has the courage to even want to interview you. But what did he do? We met, and John Mahama granted me the interview, and he said, look, I'm still running. There are repercussions from this publication. There's a committee working to see how to address it, but I've told them that nobody should attack you when your book comes out. And that I do agree with say about me or write about me, but I'll always defend your right to say them. This is John Mahama speaking.
In 2016?
No, this is 2019.
2016.
I did the Ford scandal. They were insulting him left, right, center. Then I went to invite a certain lawyer to the book launch, and he said, have you invited John? I said, who is John? He said, the president. So I was laughing and said, but how can I did the story in June, and I was launching the book in July. When Shraj was investigating him, the NPP wanted to even impeach him. I said, no. Maybe then you don't know the president. Wow. He can even sit and eat with you from the same bowl. President Mahama sent someone to the book launch who gave a speech and said, look, Manasseh is incorruptible. I'm a member of the government, and he may have his fault, but he's not bribable. He said all the good things about me, speaking on behalf of the president, and bought the highest copy, I think, my first book. Wow.
How did you feel?
It made me respect him the more, and I still respect him even though we disagree. And what that means is that if somebody wants to attack Manasseh because of President Mahama in the heat of that is they're sending somebody at his book launch. Wow. President Mahama is saying that nobody should attack him for this publication. When that book came, Abroni and others have been insulting him, his father, and all of that. I never for once got any form of attack from the NDC, because the leader of the party, who is President Mahama, said, look, he's writing his book. It's not everything in that book that I agree with, but he has a right to say that. This is the personality we are talking about.
So let me put you on the spot. Dr. Baumia and President Mahama.
Yes.
Who will you vote for? Given all that you've seen and all that is being said, who will you vote for, Manasseh Awini Azure?
There is a chapter in the final chapter of this book.
Right.
So I want you to read it for yourself. The title is
Why I Will Not Vote in 2024.
Yes.
Wow. So you know?
No.
Why so? Tell us what is in the book. Sum it up for us.
There is a reason I'm not voting in 2024.
Why? Is it
Even
because
though,
you are from the north and there are two?
No. I equally have a good relationship with Dr.
Baumia. We'll ask about that.
Yes, but there's a reason I'm not voting.
Why?
I've stated that single reason.
And tonight, when the book is launched,
people will see it.
Ebusafo Manasseh Azure na chesi atene nkane ni abriye pa ani buka watraba no what try so be explain enye book bia keke we investigations a waye a wakeka ni nyina bom na chesi odi aba o kan wasema kire Ghana fo ne ye ankasa ti ne numa asem a wo kan wa auditi baby atwam no 2016 odi ne book Facebook eba no Sema wakafa GM na yensam ketwa. Exposes a wodo wakafa GM na yensam ketwa. Na so no GM certain were coming on that day. Were coming in the kasai se no bia attack no. Na so no ekwi as ne sema wakan no enu kan bi na ma GM co position. Ene Manasseh Azure ka se wakohia GM. Just the last time what say Mahama kan just last week ya no tenenka kushiano chese ose wa respect GM pa ya seketwa so in sema manfo kafa Mahama onye hambo ombuga na for chese ninyina Manasseh rubbish ninyina na sie tusi nsema anase nsema hodwa corrupt scandals o de ma Akufo na nka o expect say at least in sema akwadiama Akufo adoye kasa break ede wohu ehun pupoe kakra like obi feel say Akufo adonsa kasa lete no and so awasem ni say up to date is all those investigation or yefa Akufo the ministers for the government no nyina o de ho report to come Akufo no we hu sakra bi up to now. And why very very shocked pie. Now the end ya crampon say bro kwa go share Akufo no Akufo ka jen say on go other people mo ben president no de nka on any when now so no say on the right person because we no onukunu no and I say Akufo do ye no now so up to date ye hu nyema ko inti all those corrupt scandal no person che say and yes, Akufo do ni mushu, and yes, ni mushu, no munina nim de ekoso. So ya na ma fon say me to community na de ben hey almost omunina nim what take actions or their common say ni na ekoso. Man for a d or man for a dream which is almost say Ghana so still na no. These people any opportunity at least be inquiry investigation Kesi no. And then report abroad said the GM no or Jennifer also needing 1-on-1 now so no okay investigation about these people in government and person any be shading come because they know say Charlie once man ababeka because nipa na any better na so be rekwana ne ho kra investigation yes and they might also think say nipa na was any be share creating come no ABL PBF or say be announced creating dressing on different person or the camera bono to bedroom says na baby to be a show nanso so no yanko pandum utimi nya the president wife to sabi the case information you nim say kedru nka wotiki action nanso so we hu hwe up to now any abre will figure out these two governments and we say this government enya papa comment section drop a comment if you want to subscribe and share my news in sanke behind the